Hey everyone, Stee-da-man here. Today we're dropping into our daily race C in our Group 2 cars. Pretty much everyone was going for the GTR in this race, but I decided to go for the Lexus. You can see here on the grid, pretty much everyone's a GTR. That's me in 17th place. I was trying not to set a qualifying time. I dropped in just before this race started to the time trial, just to mess around, get a feel for the car. It was my first race, and I accidentally crossed the line and I noticed I was about to do it and I slammed on the brakes and got a really slow qualifying time. Or maybe I'm just really slow, I'll never tell. But we get towards the back of the pack, which is what I was trying to do. I wanted to test myself, challenge myself, and start from the back. And you notice here at the beginning of the race, it just aims position 17 straight at the grass. So off to a great start already. But we'll see how many overtakes we can get in this race. I should be able to catch up with most of the people in front of me, but you can see here I make the mistake. I completely forgot I swapped over to the hard tyres. I brake way too late. You can see in the radar me and two other drivers just go completely wide. But we're still in 17th, we haven't lost a position. Frenchman here going off into the sand, we take 16th place. And you'll notice just up ahead our Portuguese driver, who actually was in 3rd place on the grid, completely binned it into the sand. Quite likely got pushed in the hordes of cars that would have been at the front there. So we settle into 16th. I don't really have much of a hope of catching this guy, knowing that he qualified 3rd. I don't quite know what my qualifying time would have been, because I never set a proper qualifying time this week in the GT2 race. This is the only race I actually did this week, but it turned out really well. You see here our British driver having a fight here with the Frenchman, it looks like. So we take 2 positions, we're now in 14th. And I want to point out, I'm actually using the DualSense controller for this. It was Sunday evening, I hadn't tried the Group 2 race yet, so I wanted to just hop on really quickly, have a go. Ended up having a really good race this race. And but I'm actually just using the DualSense controller, so you can kind of see that. Here we have our Portuguese driver just hitting the wall, completely losing all momentum. But you can see from the inputs I put into the car, not as smooth as they could be due to the fact I'm just using a controller. But the race turned out really well. I really enjoyed this race. The Frenchman in front of me there, just messing up the corner and getting reset. I managed to touch him as he's ghosted and pass through him. So we move up on into 12th. Just settling in here behind the Spanish driver, about a second in front of us. So skipping ahead just a little bit, still in lap 2, our German driver there completely bends it into the sand, and we now move up into 11th place, still behind our Spanish driver there in front of us. Coming into the hairpin, trying to brake as late as possible. They're fighting, so I should be able to get some time on them, gain some time. So we're doing fairly well already, moving from 17th to 11 in the space of, what's that, 1.5 laps roughly. So you can see the 2 drivers in front fighting a fair bit. The Frenchman gets pushed wide by the Spaniard there. We managed to go for the undertake, but then he goes straight back for the cutback. So well played by him. We lose momentum from that move, so the other Frenchman takes us here, and we move down to 12th. So looking fairly good. We know we can get the move done on these guys. This is one of my favourite sections of the track, just trying to get that braking point right. If you get it right, you can catch up so much with players in front of you. You can see there are a couple drivers making mistakes, ghosting and then settling into the group there. Just jumping ahead, Spaniard in front of us, we're now in 11th. We take 10th position from the Spaniard there, who completely messed up his exit from that corner. The Frenchman in front of us had to pay a half a second penalty just there from a mistake he made a little bit earlier in lap 3. So just pulling up behind him. I wanted to be careful. I didn't want to just dive bomb people on that. I know it's an easy mistake to do. So we managed to get the move here on the Frenchman, just trying to get our car completely in front of the Frenchman here. We don't want him on our inside for this corner. We go defensive here, take the corner tighter, but I make a mistake here. Just brake really late for this final part of the hairpin. He pushes through, fairly aggressive, but nothing horrific happens. We don't lose it. So we settle into 10th. We've got a Spaniard behind us, right on our tail, and you can see here from the radar, he just completely bins it to the left. So we've got a fair bit of leeway behind us, a cushion just in case we make any mistakes. We'll try our best to catch up with the Frenchman in front of us. So dropping down to 4th a little bit there, and then down into 2nd for here. Just trying to get used to that corner on hard tyres, so we're catching back up with the Frenchman here. Braking just at the end of that curb on the right, almost make contact with him, try and avoid hitting him, and I end up taking it wide, losing a fair bit of momentum out of the corner, just for trying to avoid completely killing him. So skipping ahead, you can see our Frenchman there that was in front of us, he makes a mistake here, goes completely wide, goes ghosted, and we hop into the pits to change our tyres over from hard into medium. I'd seen a YouTube video from Tasos, really good driver. He puts a lot of Gran Turismo Sport content on his channel, so I'll put a link for his channel in my description. But I'd noticed he used a tactic where he went on hard tyres up until the end of lap 3 and then went to the mediums for the rest of the race. So I tried a similar tactic to that. I went to the end of lap 4 and went from the hards to the mediums. So now we can really start to push it. So we settle in here behind our Frenchman that was just in front of us as we entered into the pits. So just skipping ahead a little bit, you can see we're starting to catch up with a couple drivers ahead, and as we come around this hairpin you can see the Spaniard here just putting way too much power down, spinning out and hitting that inside wall and losing all momentum. So we come up into 10th place, still behind our Frenchman here. We've got our British driver just ahead, just trying not to hit the back of the GTR in front of us. And he ends up going completely wide out into the dirty part of the track, and we managed to get a better exit. But just looking at the radar, a lot more contact than I would have liked. There was a lot of swinging back and forward, but nothing bad happens. It's fairly easy to get your back end pushed wide by another driver. But just coming into our final chicane for lap 6 here, don't know why I didn't defend the entry into it as much as I should have, but we don't lose a space. 8th going into the pits there, so we drop into 7th. So 7th from 17th, not bad at all. We drop back down to 8th because our Frenchman coming out of the pits here. We overtake him there, and we move into 7th again. So just jumping ahead, catch up really quickly with this group of cars. I go for the inside move, trying to keep it as courteous as possible, make sure I don't push him wide or make too much contact with him there. So we managed to do it nice and clean, but then coming into this hairpin, you can see in the radar, he hits the grass, completely skids out, and smashes me wide around the hairpin. So I lose my positions back to the two Frenchmen we were battling before. So we're now in 8th place, still not too bad. Was a bit annoyed at that how that hairpin went, but we should be able to get some moves done here. So managed to get a better exit out of that corner than the GTR to my left, so we go for the overtake, managed to get past him. So I was just thinking about how I could get the move done on the Frenchman in front of us. There were some sections of the track where he was a lot more effective, and then there was other sections where I would just catch straight back up with him. So I go for a move here, managed to brake better than him, go for the inside move, and he just punches me into the curb there and then pushes me wide, and as I'm dealing with that, I end up hitting into our Spaniard there, who was making a couple of mistakes on his exit of the track, and getting punched there as well by the driver behind. So I get a bit of a speed boost, which worked out, but not a great way to take that chicane. It should have gone a lot better than that. I managed to completely mess up my exit of that corner. I get overtaken by the Frenchman in front of me. Just skipping ahead, you can see the British driver there just binning it. We go up into 7th place. So just jumping forward to the end of lap 8, I want to show you a corner. I was really annoyed at this, the way the Frenchman takes this corner. So looking at the entry into it, he brakes about 3 miles too early. I get punched from behind because I get slowed down so drastically. I end up pushing him around the corner because he's going so slow. So just unnecessarily slow in my opinion. It could have been that his tires were worn, but it was just unnecessary to go that slow. So really want to get a move done. You can see me trying to make it look like I'm going on the inside. He doesn't quite take the bait, but I decide I'm going to get the move done because he's quite likely going to brake early. So flick out to the right, get the move done, come into the chicane on the inside, and we get that done. So we go into 6th. So having a look at the end of lap 9, you can see the Frenchman in front of us just completely goes wide, hits the wall. We drop into 6th position. So I couldn't tell whether he got pushed wide or not, but we get a free position nonetheless. So looking at the end of lap 10, we've got a driver right behind us. I go defensive here, take the entry into the chicane as tight as possible. And despite the driver behind us, despite his best efforts, we managed to hold on to 6th. And we passed the line. We crossed the line here. So really, really good race. Really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting a lot from just using the DualSense controller on the PS5, but really, really enjoyed that race, and I wanted to share it with you guys. It was the only race, the only Group 2 race around Suzuka Circuit I did last week, and I really, really enjoyed it. I really wish I'd done more of that race last week. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe if you want more Gran Turismo Sport PlayStation 5 gameplay. Go check out the channel as there's more videos on Gran Turismo Sport there. And I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you next time.